Hello viewers, welcome to Tech It Works educational channel. So today's topic would be SQL query language. So in the previous chapter we saw database management system and introduction to SQL. So today we'll start with SQL Server language. So first of all, as you can see the screen, we have opened up Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So in it, the first is server type, so that is always be database engine. Server name is the server name where database is installed, and the authentication is Windows authentication. So there are two authentications here, is SQL Server authentication and Windows authentication. Right now we have used Windows authentication. So server name is localhost because this database is installed onto this server, and the server type is database engine. So in the previous chapter we discussed on DBMS. It is a software to manage database. So here also, to access the database we need Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So it enables to access the database. So once we have given all of the field values like server type, server name and the authentication, let's connect. So to the left hand side you can see localhost and the SQL Server name, and below that we have database. So right now here we have dataware as the database. Okay, now if I want to create a new database, I will right click, then click on new database. Here under database name I will put the name, so name would be demo. So in the below you can find two database files, one is rows file and one is log file. Just click OK. As soon as you click OK, a new database is created named as demo. So to query the tables and to query the things, we will either right click and click on new query, or we can directly click new query. So once you click on new query, to the left hand side we can see the database name. So now the selected one is demo. Let's select master. So we have master, model, MSDB, TimeDB. So those are system database. Dataware and demo are the database which we have created. Let us select master. So now I will write select star from. So right now I have the table as student. So let's say select star from student. Okay, execute. So here we have an error, invalid object name student. It means object means table. So this object is not there into the master database. So to use the dataware database, we write use dataware. So once you execute that, automatically we are using dataware. So to the left top we can see dataware is populated. Now I will run this query, select star from student. Now you can see the records. It means this table is in the database dataware. So if I want to use demo, I will use demo. So inside demo I will run the same query, but I am having the same error like invalid object, because that table is not there in the demo database, because that right now we have just created. Another way to call the table is select star from database name dot dbo dot table name. So if I click on execute, I will see the record. Now you can see the selected database is demo, but we can find this record because we have given the full name, that is database name and the table name. So this is also a syntax to call the table, so that is called as the full schema. So we will write a new query to create the tables and all into the new database, that is demo what we have created. So I'm using the existing one which I have created here, the SQL queries. Okay, so here is the file. So if you look at the file, the first one is create table. So in the demo table we don't have any table. Let's say I will write select star from student. So this student table, let's see whether it is there in the demo table or not. So I will carry this, execute. So this table is not there. Let us create that table. So I will use create table, table name, then the column name, then the data type, and so on. So this is the syntax: create table, table name, then the column name, and then after that we have the data type. So here we have used integer and n varchar. If we talk about integer, it is a number, and n varchar, it contains alphanumeric values. Okay, so let us execute create table. So I will select this and I will say execute. So we have the message commands completed successfully. Let us check whether it is created. Select star from student. Okay, so it is created. So now we are going to insert the values. So here we saw select star. Star means all of the columns. If I want to call a specific roll number, I will say select roll number from student. Only roll number will be seen there when I execute this. Now I want to insert the values. Okay, so first I will insert the values. So to insert the values, we have a syntax: insert into table name, then into bracket column names separated by comma, then bracket complete values, and then in bracket I will put the values for that specific column. Okay, so here I have given 101, then the values. Okay, let me execute. So if you see this, so I have given roll number last 3 columns and 3 data. So after executing, I got the error invalid column name Parker. This is the error. Why we got the error? Because last name is n varchar. Okay, and to put the values in varchar, we need that to be in the single inverted comma and not without single inverted comma. So I will put single inverted comma before and after the value. So if we put this, so this will treat as alphanumeric value, otherwise it will not identify the value here. So let me execute this. So once I execute, it is executed successfully. So when I say, so instead of roll number I will say star. So select star from student. So I will get the record which I have inserted. So in the same way, I will insert the other records too. Now to insert other records, we have syntax values, then I will put the values into bracket, then comma, then values, and so on. So once I execute, so I have inserted 5 rows at a time. So when I say select star from student, I got these number of records. So this is the insert query. We saw insert into table name, then column names, values, and then rows. So this is the syntax. Now if I want to add additional column, that is admission date, so what is the syntax here? Alter table, table name, then add column name, and then data type. So this is the syntax which we have to follow: alter table, table name, add column name, and then data type. Okay, let me execute this query. Select this and click on execute. So now this new column name is added to the table. Let us check. Select star from student. We can see admission date is populated here. So this is how we added a new column. Now after this, if you look at the records, we have 101, 101 is repeated twice. It is not unique. One ID, one roll number is assigned to the same, but we have the duplicate values. We don't need duplicate values, but before that we have added admission date. So let me insert the date also here. Let us see whether it is populated or not. Okay, so it is populated. We can see the date is populated here. Now if I want to update the date, okay, not update the date. If I want to eliminate the duplicate values, so what I will do, I will add a primary key. So to add a primary key, we have a syntax: alter table, table name, add primary key, and into the bracket we have the column name. So it is a syntax to assign the column name primary key. Okay, let me execute this query. So we got this error because we already have records into the table. Let us delete the records. Delete from student. So this is a syntax: delete from table name. Let me execute this. Okay, so the records are deleted. Let me execute again. So select star from student. Now you can see there are no records. Okay, now let me execute the same query. Alter table student, add primary key, roll number will be the primary key. Let me execute this. So primary key is a unique key which we are going to have it. So now we are having a new error. So it is saying primary key constraint cannot be defined on nullable columns. Why it is so? Okay, let us check the structure of student table. So for that we have sp underscore help student. So it gives us the student structure. So against roll number we have nullable value is yes. It means we can store the nullable value also. So to add primary key we don't need this nullable yes. Nullable should be no. Now how to do that? So we have to alter that column, data type and the definition. So we will have alter table, table name, alter column, column name, data type, and we will say not null. Not null means the value should not be null. Now if I execute again sp help student, then you can see nullable is no. Okay, now let us try to add primary key. So now execute this. Okay, now primary key is added successfully. Now we saw if the column is nullable, then primary key will not be added to that. If it is not null, then only primary key will be added. Primary key is a unique key which is not null and it should not be duplicate. Now whenever we create a table, the default value is nullable. So to avoid that, we have to add not null after the data type. I think we got it here. Okay, now the next step would be insert the values again, because we are deleted all of the records. Okay, now if I want to insert the same value, it will give me the primary key constraint error, because 101 is already there into the records. Okay, now I will modify this 101 to 108. Let us see if it gives the error. Now it won't give error because 108 was not existing. You can see that is added as a new record. Let me execute. Okay, so you can see the new records here. So this is how we have eliminated duplicate values by adding primary key. Now I want to update admission date. Okay, so what I will do, I will use update query. Update student, that is update table name, set column name equals to value. So the syntax is update table set column name then value. So here value is get date. So I have updated admission date as get date. Get date means today's date. So let me check select star from student whether that date is populated. Okay, that date is populated. Now if you see here, I have used update query without where column, and that is why it is reflected to all of the records. Now to avoid this, I will use where condition, where first name equals to Vinay. Now the date will be, I will change the date. Instead of today's date, I will say get date admission date equals to get date minus 5. Okay, now let us check. I'll execute this. Let us check the result. Select star from student. Now if you see the change, the update is done on the record of 105 only because the first name is Vinay and the others are not affected. Okay, now let us check the alter table drop column. So before that, let's add one more column. Okay, now before that also let us check delete query. Now we have used delete from student, it will delete all data. Now we will use delete from where condition, where roll number equals to 108, then you will see 108 record is deleted. So if I use delete query, I will use the where condition, then only that specific record will be deleted, and this will happen for the update query also. So just keep in mind, whenever we are going to use update and delete query, we will always use where condition, otherwise it will hamper all of the records into that table. So the syntax will be delete from where condition, update from where condition. So this is very critical into the database. Now let us add one more column, alter table student, add student date. Okay, so by executing this, one new column is added. Now I want to drop that column. I don't need that student date column. So what I will do, I will use alter table, table name, drop column, column name. That's it. So after using this, if I execute, that new column is deleted from the structure. So this is what we achieved after using alter table student, drop column, student date. So the student date created column is deleted. Syntax is alter table student, drop column, then column. Then we also saw alter table student, add column name, and then data type. The next one we saw alter table student, alter column, column name, then the data type, which has to be modified, and we can define that if it is null or not null. Then we saw update query and delete query. So there is a difference between update and delete query. Update means it will update the value, delete means it will delete the whole record, delete the whole row. So we have to use where condition in that. So this is it. This is the end of the video. So in the next video we will resume with the other things like foreign key, which is related to the primary key, and where condition, group by, and joins, and all of the things which we will see into the next lecture. Thank you viewers. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel.